it's been.
I think we live in the, as far as I'm concerned, anyhow, it's the best place in the world. But
Oh, we do. We do. Paradise is the best,
Yeah.
isn't it? We love it here.
Yes.
I don't know anybody at church anymore.
That is a bummer, isn't it?
Well, now they'll know you because they'll see your video and they'll come up and say,
That's right. Hopefully they'll come say hi, huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Elementary school.
Okay.
And that was the closest schools around. There were several other schools in Emery County and Carbon County down that way, but now this was in 1932.
Right. Born in 1932.
Right. Oh, yeah, I didn't start school till 1940, I guess it was.
Okay.
It was right after the war started, just as they were starting things.
Uh-huh.
So I knew what the Japanese War was and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then when I graduated from high school, we moved immediately.
Okay.
And my dad had gotten a different job, and he had been essentially batching it out
Sunny side.
to the east of Price. It was an area called Sunnyside,
Uh-huh.
which really doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But we got there, and the war started, and I went and told my dad that was okay with him. Well, he'd been hurt in the mine, but he was getting recovered and so forth.
Right.
He was doing all his work on the outside now, moving coal, and it was a place where they made coke,
Okay.
and so the place was hot. I mean, you went to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it would be in the middle of wintertime. You want to take your coats off.
Right. Oh. Yeah.
It was very warm.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I quit and went in the Navy, I was, I think, about third or fourth, something like that, to be drafted.
Oh.
And I did not want to go in the Army.
Mm.
So I essentially volunteered for a four-year term in the Navy.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And they sent me to San Diego to train, and was down there for a while. And then they sent me back to
Florida.
where?
Florida.
Florida,
Okay.
where did more training.
Uh-huh.
And then training was actually guiding pilots. Pilots on the ship needed more information, and so we would fly up and down the Florida ocean sides there, and report back to the pilots what was being seen, so that they could attack a particular place or whatever.
Oh, wow.
And that spent, what, a couple of years? A year or something, I don't know.
And then you went to
There.
Tennessee.
Then I went to Memphis, Tennessee,
Okay.
and was working there for a while. And one of the guys I knew worked with us from Utah, wanted to go out to a dance.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me if I'd go with him, and I said,
Well,
well, I don't have anybody to go with or anything.
Uh-huh.
Dad,
Yeah.
you're getting a little ahead of yourself because that's in California. You had to go back to California after Tennessee.
Oh, really? The fourth place?
Oh, is that right?
So you went back.
That was the important place, is that California place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
back to San Diego? Same place?
No,
A different base there?
yeah,
Okay.
Port Wainema.
Port Wainema. yeah, which is off the coast. But I didn't spend much time there because I was in the Air Navy,
Oh, okay.
and we had a base on there at Reamfield,
I don't know.
Yeah.
and so
Well, this story sounds very nice. I'm excited. You had a friend go to a dance,
yeah,
and he said, "Come along." And you didn't have anyone with you, or you didn't
Right.
have anyone to take.
and
Did he set you up?
he set me up
Uh,
essentially,
yeah.
and he went up to. I can't remember if he went up during the dance. I think. No, he didn't. He talked to another. It was called. What was the band called?
No. Eminent, you were at Mutual. You went to
Yeah.
Mutual. And then after the Mutual,
that's right.
the M&M Gleaners, they always had a dance for the 19 and above.
Right.
Who were the M&M cleaners?
I don't know. That's just what.
They just did.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
I
Okay.
don't know. These are old things.
It was just part of the MIA
Part of the thing.
program.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I think they made it special for those young servicemen,
Yeah.
really.
Right.
And so we were there and spent quite a bit of time flying, training pilots, going up and down the Mississippi River.
Okay, go back to the dance.
And the
The
dance.
dance, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You're at the dance up in Camarillo.
Oh, that's right.
Because Jay took you up there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I know somebody I can get you.
She wanted to, and she says, he says, I'll introduce you to somebody. I told him, I don't have a date or no
Yeah.
possibilities or anything.
Uh-huh.
He says, I'll make a date for you. So he did, and as it happened, this young lady, her name is Mary Ann Richards,
Mm-hmm.
she had a boyfriend, but he went off to Los Angeles to work and things and never did come and see her or anything.
Oh yeah.
So it was quite easy. So he went and asked the guy I was with, asked her if she wanted to go down to this dance, and what was it called?
Les Brown and the
Les Brown and his band of renown.
Oh man.
And it was a great, big, huge place. I bet you could put 500 or 600 people in it.
Uh-huh.
Great, big, and it's not quite downtown Los Angeles, but it was just on the outside there.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It was a great big, and what was the name of the?
Les Brown.
Les Brown.
And it's called the Palladium.
Oh, was that in the Palladium?
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know.
There you go.
Yeah,
Now,
Was it
and-
just for servicemen? Or just,
Yeah. No, it was for everybody, but
For
most of them were
I see.
servicemen there.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that's your first date with your
that
sweetheart?
was my first date.
And her name is Mary, did you say?
Mary Ann
Mary Ann. Okay.
Richards.
Mary Ann Richards. She was from LA then.
She was what?
She grew up in LA?
No, I guess she did
Well, that area, yeah.
in
Just
that area, just north of Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And but her folks were from
Goshen.
Goshen.
Oh, really? Okay. Nice. Goshen, Utah, man.
Land of Goshen.
Yeah.
how old was she when you went to the dance?
Pretty young.
18,
Oh, wow.
19.
And you were about the same?
Yeah,
Yeah.
were you? in
Well,
LA?
I'm a year older right
2
now.
years older.
2 years older.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Very good.
So how was your courtship? What was your courtship like?
Well, we went out that time and then made a date for Sunday.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And we never quit.
Yeah. I saw a picture on the way in.
And we come back to Utah, about 6-8 months later or something. And was married in Salt Lake Temple. And then on the way home,
Wait, before you go there, because you have to tell the funny story.
Oh yeah. We
What
got
funny
boy.
story?
The funny
If there's a
story
funny
is after
story.
you were Remember after
Here's
you were
Lyle and
dating
Marianne
3
right here.
weeks and you'd gone to a dance and then you told her you loved her?
Oh,
Yeah, so tell this story.
I can't remember it. I said something, I think, like, well, I think I'm falling for you. And she says, that's good.
I said, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do about it?
And then you said,
Here's a sailor, third class sailor making what, $50, $60 a month? You know, what's a gal you going to do?
Yeah.
But,
so you had to sell your, do you remember?
Car?
You had to sell your car.
oh, did I?
Yep, because she had one.
Oh, she had a newer one.
There you
right.
go. There you go.
Yeah, and so, and I was going out of, what was that place? Ringfield? Not Ringfield.
I don't know what you're talking about. Where are you going?
It's
Are you
south
headed
of-
back to, are you going to San Diego?
Yeah.
Okay, Chula Vista down there in,
Oh, okay.
down there in
That's
San
where I
Diego.
Okay.
That's where you were transferred to
Oh, okay.
and
before
then,
you got married.
Yeah.
Did you have plans to stay in the Navy, or did you want to get out
I wanted to get out as possible.
as soon as you could?
But it was a 4-year,
Yeah, the obligation.
yeah. Because they wanted, you know, sailors, I mean, Army guys, you didn't have to put up that long, but sailors did.
And you were a Navy pilot?
No,
No.
just a place old Greenie sailed.
Yeah.
So I,
Do what you're told.
He did engineering, and he was like a
but that was
with
later.
radar.
Yeah,
He went to radar school and things like that.
Yeah.
So he would fly with the pilot.
yeah.
Wow.
After I got out of boot camp, then they started sending me to Florida for school.
Yeah, he found.
And Minneapolis area for school.
Okay.
And so then I started getting into electronics. And,
Okay.
Did you like the Navy?
oh yeah, it was pretty good. You know, it was bad when I had to go and leave her.
Yeah.
Right.
But as far as being shot at or anything like that, it was perfect. You know,
Right.
that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And
So-
so
How long after did you leave the Navy and then get married then? Or did
No.
you have to stay in for a while?
we,
He was in
how
it.
long?
He was in it for about a year,
Then we got
maybe a year and a
married.
half, and then he's down in San Diego area
Yeah.
and moved around.
I had a 4-year term.
Yeah, and so
Oh,
that was the
that's
end of
right.
it.
Right.
And he got out, and then they moved up to San Luis Obispo, where he went to school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I want to know a little bit more about your childhood. Any memories about? Yeah. How was life different for you as a kid than it is for our children?
Well, every kid that's 16 and above nowadays got a car.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't have any cars at all. If we went any place when I was a kid, we walked or rode a horse.
Oh, there you go.
And if we need to go to Price, which was, what, 6 miles away someplace from Huntington,
Yeah.
we had to ride the horse. We took, I went with my uncle and my grandfather, and we went, hitched horses up and went out there and got about 5 miles from Price and stayed overnight.
Wow.
Next morning, went on into Price, come back to there,
Yeah.
and next time they come home.
Oh man, I love it. That's beautiful.
Yeah. There was a place back then, it doesn't exist anymore, but you can still see it where it was. It's called, was a horseshoe band, really.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember what it was called? I can't remember, but anyhow, it's about halfway between Price and Huntington. And there's sheer cliffs. And they had dug all these cliffs out and made a road down through
Oh
that
wow.
went back and forth, you know.
Wow.
And Now that road doesn't exist. They just come up and went over the hill.
Gotcha. Wow.
But
What kind of chores did you have as a kid?
mostly feeding the cows and milking the cows.
Okay. So multiple cows though, not just this. You'd milk more than one
No,
cow.
we had a couple of milk cows
Uh-huh.
to use for, and then we had 4 or 5 cows that they used to send to the
Yeah, to the butcher, beef cows.
butcher for feed cows.
Mm-hmm. Man, so milking a couple cows. I mean, to milk one cow is a lot of work. To milk a couple cows that's a good job.
Yeah,
And you have to. I mean, I'm amazed how, like, it never goes away, right? Milking cows, you have to do it no matter what, morning, night.
yeah. You kill a cow,
Yeah, that's right.
and
So,
and
who
it
taught
wasn't
you to
bad.
work? Was it natural for you to work hard, or did your parents have to help you?
No, I think it was pretty normal.
Okay.
My dad worked in the coal mine, gone all the time, and worked hard. I mean, he'd come home dead tired.
Yeah.
And then my dad died when I was, 6 or 7?
Oh wow.
But my mother remarried, 3 or 4 months later.
Wow.
Had been
Or a
married,
year, a year.
huh?
A year later.
Was a year later.
Okay.
And she married my dad's younger brother.
Oh my goodness.
So it was
Wow.
right,
Wow.
kept in the family. And he had had been in the army, but he had a heart problem.
Okay.
So they discharged him, but it didn't stop him from doing things, and so he drove the tractor around or the horses,
Mm-hmm.
whichever we had to do the particular job.
Right.
So
And you always were with your grandpas.
yeah,
So you spent a lot of time with.
I lived down with my grandpa Staker. For 2 or 3 years,
Oh wow.
pretty much.
Yeah.
To help him. He was a bachelor, and well, he wasn't a bachelor. He was. His wife had passed away,
Oh, okay. What
so
do we?
that's anyhow.
Yeah.
And so, and he had a son there called Bruce that he and I used to every day after the lunch, we'd head for the creek. And we'd go swimming, and Grandpa'd go lay down and have a nap.
Oh man.
And then about
That's
2 o'clock or so, then we'd come back and get back into the whatever we were doing.
Yeah. Get back to work. What a great memory, man. Was it a big river that you'd swim in, or just a little creek?
Oh, it was a pretty good river. It was the Huntington River.
Oh, okay.
Came out of the mountains down there.
Nice. Cold? Was it cold?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love it. That's beautiful. So, what was your favorite thing to do? What did your friends and you do for fun when you were young?
Probably just playing around, kick the can,
Oh yeah.
this
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah. Love it.
And because, here it was in 1935, 36, there wasn't much flying around money around
That's right.
that day.
How was that, by the way? How was the war and the depression and that time for you?
Well, it really didn't bother us so much because, well, I did have one. I guess he ended up being my dad too. What happened was my dad, his name was
Lyman.
Lyman, married my mother,
Yeah.
and it wasn't too long afterwards he got hit with a piece of worked inside the mine,
Yeah, yeah.
and he got hit with a piece of coal,
Oh,
and he really wasn't well after that, and it lasted about 4 or 5 months, and then he passed away.
oh,
And then we moved in from Castlegate down to Huntington, and that's where my stepdad came in, who was my dad's younger brother.
younger brother, right? Yeah. Okay, so and then Huntington all the way until you graduated.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I graduated from Huntington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Castlegate a lot, by the way. I think it's
You what?
Castlegate. I have been there, and I think. It's
Oh, have you? Yeah.
It's a
Well,
great
it
little
looks
city.
different now than we just did then. I remember one time, every time really, I'd get a fall down, I get a nosebleed or whatever, and I always had to go to the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
And so this one time, let's see, I can't remember just how. Oh, I was gonna. My sister's trying to get me to good, and the train's right there, So
Yeah.
so one day we were going home from Pine. The little kids,
School.
no, church.
Primary.
Oh,
Primary.
Yeah.
We were going home from primary, and she was telling me, now you be careful, Oh, and so I started walking on the track. And of course, dumb kid, I fell down,
Oh no.
tore this knee up just really bad.
Oh shoot.
So then I ended up in the hospital
Oh.
for a few days and
Yeah.
On crutches and things for next year.
Oh man.
We had I got to tell you this one. We had a guy. I don't know that he was a member of the church, but he had a daughter that was probably 5 or 6 years older. Here I am, about 7 or 8, and she was about 10 years older or something like that.
Okay.
But she could throw better than any man I ever saw. and she was really good and to us and everything, but we liked to tease her. And so one day she picked up a rock
Oh no.
and threw it at me. And I can't remember where it hit. Do you remember?
No.
I don't know where it hit. Anyhow, it hit me on the side of the head or something.
Yeah.
I always said for a long time it's what caused this hole in my chin, but I knew it didn't.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
But that was,
Well, let's talk more about your marriage to Marianne. So, what was do you remember how you proposed? How you asked her to marry you?
we had gone to a dance. I can't remember who it was. We went, back then they had a lot of dances for all the servicemen.
Yeah.
And they were big band stuff too.
Oh man.
And so anyhow, I needed a date, and I didn't have one.
But how did you propose?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was later, but
Yeah, so did you ever get down on one knee? And,
no, I didn't get down on my knee.
What?
I don't
No?
think so.
Okay, I don't think so either. I think they just kind of,
Yeah.
Just that she just said.
We were just talking one day, and we were out. I can't remember whether we were coming home from a dance or going to or whatever. And I told her that I really liked her. And she said, "What are you going to do about it?" And I stammered and went, I don't have any money or anything.
Right.
She says, "We don't need any."
Oh, that's
So that got us engaged.
Oh man, I love that. We don't need any of that money stuff.
So we came to Salt Lake and got married. 4 or 5 months later, something like that.
Uh-huh.
I got married in Salt Lake, and then went back to California, and I finished my time there.
So when did you move to Paradise? Have you been in Paradise a long time, or?
But quite a while.
20, about 20 years ago,
20 years.
when he retired.
Okay.
Yeah, when I retired.
And was your wife with you still? Was she still with you then?
Yeah.
When you moved here? Oh, good.
How long has she been gone?
18 years. 19
18
years.
years, yeah.
19 years,
Oh,
almost 19.
So soon after you
Yeah.
moved here.
It wasn't too long.
Was
Couple
it?
of years.
Was
I
it
guess
this?
I guess we've been here longer. So yeah,
Okay. 20-something years.
20 something, about 22 years, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you move right to this house then, when you came here to Paradise? No.
No, we built the house. Dad built. Mom
Yeah,
and Dad
we
built
built
the
the
house.
house.
Oh. Okay.
Bishop Sorensen, if you know him, in the other first
Oh,
word.
no.
That's okay.
Okay. That's where you lived first.
No, that's who built our house. Sorry.
Oh.
We lived, where'd we live? In
We moved from Salt Lake.
not into the house, did we?
No, we up to Smithfield, and then you built the house.
Oh,
And
that's
then we-
right.
Then we moved
So
into
you
our
moved
house.
to Smithfield first.
Smithfield.
Okay. Let me see here. What about? How did it feel to become a dad? Do you remember anything about that?
It was wonderful.
Was Georgianne your first?
No,
No.
it was a girl,
And Melinda.
Melinda.
Oh yeah.
She has since passed away.
Um,
She married one of the son,
The son of one of your very best friends.
best friends.
oh,
Growing
did
up.
she really? Oh, I love that. That's the way to go. That's what we hope our
And
kids.
he
do.
lived in Price, and I knew him when we went to school down there.
Oh wow, that's cool.
But, so,
What did you do for a living?
computer program.
Oh,
Wow, computer program right at the beginning. Huh?
Yeah, it was right.
So would you do those cards? You have to would you punch holes in cards and feed them through a computer? Is that what you would do?
No, I don't remember doing that.
Something along those
Could
lines.
have, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of those at home.
A lot of those punch cards.
A lot of
Uh-huh.
punch cards, or else the paper that was all punched in different prints. You had different pictures that you would use and send through.
Is that right? I don't remember any of that.
Boy, computer programming, awesome. What were some of the traditions that you guys had as a family when you were raising your kids? Or any fun vacations that you remember?
Well, I thought we always had a good vacation,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
don't you?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as
just
it was
fun
always back to Utah from California, wasn't it?
Either
Oh,
that or
to see family.
See family.
Family type thing, yeah.
So you stayed in California for a while then?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the first, let's see, Melinda was 6, about 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, they lived in California, in San Diego area. Then they moved up to Brigham City when Dad worked at Thicol.
Okay. Mhm.
And so they were there a couple of years, and that's where I was born. Then they headed back to California for another 4 years.
A little while.
A little while, and then then we finally ended up in Salt Lake, where we stayed for 25 years.
Okay.
And that's where Dad was working for the church as a
That's
computer
Oh,
programmer.
for the church as a
Oh,
programmer.
yeah.
Well, that's cool. Were you right down there in those beautiful homes on the avenues, like by the
No,
No,
we were down in the Holiday area.
we lived,
holiday? Huh?
Down further.
and loved it out
In
there.
Cottonwood.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of marriage advice? Like what's the key to a happy marriage according to Lyman?
Well, from ours,
Yeah.
it was just to be attentive and love one another. I mean,
Yeah.
that's,
I like
and
that word.
I don't remember ever going out to anything that I didn't take her with me,
Mhm.
and vice versa, unless it was Relief Society. I didn't go to Relief Society.
I beg
like
to
that.
differ.
Huh?
I beg to differ because you were Mom was the Relief Society president when she passed away.
That's right.
And Dad was like the third counselor.
He was just go there.
He
I
was-
was I was
You were helping him
go
out.
get all it.
Gopher.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
some
it is,
good
actually.
counsel.
Yeah, he
So
was.
I need to repeat that because that's some really good counsel. Attentive is a really powerful word. To be attentive to your companion, meaning you're anxiously concerned for what they're feeling and not yourself.
Yeah.
And then no guys night out, no girls night out. Just do stuff together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's very
No, I don't
nice.
remember ever going out with the boys.
I don't either.
Yeah,
It
you
was
don't-
always
after
a
you're married,
family.
there's no- yeah, just go with
Where
your family. How about? Do you have any counsel for parents as we try to be good moms and dads? Any advice on that?
Well, the only thing I feel is be part of the child's life. I mean, be there to do things when they want to do them,
Right.
and suggest things for the family that they can go do as a group rather than just one here, there, and there. And such thing.
I like that.
That's my best fella, and I think we did a lot of that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Things that you could all do
So-
together. That's some.
We didn't go just leave somebody home or
Yeah. Right.
something like that and go off.
I love that. Beautiful advice. So, can you tell us at all about a turning point or maybe a defining moment in your life? Something that really changed you?
Well, I think the biggest change was when I went in the Navy and they gave me a chance to get into electronics.
Right.
And that made the rest of my life. Because
Right.
then, even when I got out of the Navy, I started working for the church.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't do a lot to start with, but then as time came along, we get more and more. And I did a lot of traveling for the church, installing computers and having meetings with people to show them what they needed to do and so forth. That way, so
Okay. Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah.
I'm going to add to that because I think when he was in the Navy, he had an uncle down in the Los Angeles area. And that's one of the reasons he wanted to go to he wanted to go to the Los Angeles area because he had an uncle there that would go to church. He would go to church with him.
That's
And that also got him going to church on a regular basis, where it was hard, where he was stationed other places.
Oh,
They did, yeah. So that is a big defining moment too. Before he met my mom, to go to church with his
Oh,
uncle,
okay.
and his
Wow.
his uncle was in Lyman also, so that was kind of fun.
Oh, that is cool.
So there were two boys in the same family named Lyman?
Yeah.
Brothers.
No, uncle. One's uncle, one's
One's
nephew,
Oh, okay. Oh,
and then his dad.
Dad, yeah.
So
a lot of
that-
Lyman's
that's-
there.
Lyman's is a popular name.
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah, that's a fantastic turning point in your life. What would you say? Is there anything you'd tell your younger self if you could go back and talk to him?
Well, I think the only thing is that I would like to say is it left too quick. You know, it left the family too quick.
What are you talking about?
And didn't you say, maybe I'm talking wrong, something, I heard that things happened in the family that,
What would you
I don't
tell?
know.
What would you tell your younger life? What would you tell your 20-year-old or your
now,
Yeah.
your 20-year-old self?
yeah.
That's kind of a hard question. You don't have to answer it.
No, I know exactly what it is, but
What?
stay close to church. When I first grew up, we really didn't go to church. and it was the people that I met and went to church and what's the other word?
To mutual
Parties and everything.
Yeah.
It was
Uh,
put on by the church,
yep.
and that was the big thing.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, before I went in the Navy, up to 18, 19, I went to church when I wanted to.
Mm.
If there was going to be a cute girl there or something like that. It's not,
Right.
it wasn't
It
not
wasn't a
because
big
I
part,
wanted to go
yeah.
to church.
Yeah. Mm.
And so,
So you'd say stick close to the church, younger self.
oh
You know,
yes,
That's
the best thing I ever done.
yeah. That's
I've
yeah.
seen it.
That's great advice. What is the key to a good life, to a happy life?
There again, to me, it's just staying close to the Lord
Mm-hmm.
and your family. Make sure that you're part of their family, and I know nobody's left out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do things together. When we went for a ride or anything, we would go up the canyon or whatever. The whole family went.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
And I think that's very important as children grow up and things, to make sure that they're part and they know how you love them
Right.
and they're part of the family. They're not just hung out here on
Yeah.
the,
Yeah, and especially not a burden, not something that keeps you from going to Italy and having fun. Huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Who goes to you?
Oh no, yeah, that's sort of like that must be an inside joke with me. So, what is your dream, Lyman, for your own kids and for your great grandkids? What do you hope for them?
Oh, to be honest to themselves in the church. That's the best thing to me, to guide anybody through any trouble or what have you. And I think that's been pretty good. We haven't really had too much problem. They seem to be going.
They're
Now,
making
we
good
haven't
choices.
done a lot this last year as far as visiting them either.
Oh right.
But
right.
so I haven't been able to see, but I know that they're
doing pretty good.
That they're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're a pretty darn good dad. That's why.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories or memories that you want to share, or anything that I missed? Georgianne, anything?
Just that. Okay, we just have to tell this one because this would never fly now.
Yeah.
That
tell us.
when Dad was like 15 or 16, he and his brothers, it was his two younger brothers, Stan and Larry. They were sent up to the canyon, Huntington Canyon, to cut log poles. They did it all summer. They were up there by themselves
Here I was.
with their horses. Dad was in charge,
What was
which
I,
is
15,
scary anyway.
16?
But they had axes and things. Their parents were down, Grandma and Grandpa, and the rest of the kids were down at home working. They left them up, and they had to make a quota. And they'd come up every weekend, give them new food, and they'd give them the quota of their log poles. So they'd go cut their log poles and then go play for the rest of the time, go fishing. So, but that would never happen now. But that was that was a okay thing then. So
So you're
really?
16 years old,
Yeah.
and you're up there chopping down trees. Oh, wow. And just up there the whole week, just living up in the mountains.
Oh yeah, we just lived up there all summer.
Whoa. And they bring you some food
They'd
sometimes?
they'd come up about every other week or 2 weeks, something like that, with new food and some washed clothes and stuff, you know.
Oh my goodness. That's fantastic. Just up there with your pals? Your brothers?
Your brothers, his brothers.
Yeah.
So his brothers, okay, let's see, Larry,
Stan and Larry.
Stan is 4 years younger than him, so he would be 12, and then Larry's another couple of years younger. So 12 and 10.
Oh wow.
So here's
Yeah.
Dad.
That's
Uh-huh.
great. And you were the leader. You were
Uh-huh.
the older brother.
Uh-huh.
Were you the oldest, Lyman? I didn't even ask. You the oldest child? Right?
Yeah.
You're the
yeah.
oldest of how many? Were there?
7.
7.
7. Wow.
Yeah.
Man. That's a good story. I like that story. Any other stories that we
Oh, I'll just tell you the funny stories.
tell us? Another?
The funny story is Dad played hooky from school. And he was playing hooky from school with some, I was reading his history, and they got in mischief, and so he was playing hooky from school. Then all of them were, and they went under the ditch bank to hide and didn't go to school. Well, when he was gone, his house burned down at home.
Wow.
And so,
When we got back, I told my folks that I had heard about that, so I came home,
yes, came home from school.
which was not true. But I don't know if I ever.
And that's
I don't know if I ever told them.
that's what he told the teacher he was gone because his house burned
Yeah.
down, which was true. And then his friends said, "Oh, well, we went with him to help him."
Help him with that.
But
Oh,
the
wow.
good thing is he never played hooky from school again.
No.
So that was a good thing.
How did it burn down?
How old was it? About 6th grade?
Yeah. I don't know. How did the house burn down? Do you remember?
Yeah, Mom was. Well, back then we didn't have running hot water,
Yeah.
and so she put this big old can or whatever on the back of the stove, and puffed it full of wood to burn and get the water hot so she could do the washing.
Oh yeah.
And did all the washing by hand and everything. So,
Wow.
And it burned the house.
But everyone made it out safe?
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we made it up.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and as it happened, the bishop at the time had an extra house, and so we were able to move right in, and
Oh wow.
it really didn't hurt us very much.
That's fun.
Well, that's the
That's
thing.
awesome.
Dad says, when growing up where he was, everybody was poor. They
Yeah.
didn't know they were poor.
Yeah.
He didn't know he was poor because everybody was poor. And it
Right.
was that's just how it was.
Just all pour together. That's
Yeah.
good.
Did your stepdad/uncle work in the mines too? Is that what everyone did?
Yes.
Did he work?
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody worked in the coal mines.
Oh, okay. And you did too, Lyman, you said, right? For a little while before you joined the
For a
Navy.
little while,
Okay.
but it was mostly on the outside too, though.
Oh, okay.
As, they bring the big chunks of coal out,
Yeah.
and I'd help break them up, or if they'd bring a big, we called them Larry cars, and it was a whole truckload of coal,
Oh, okay.
and I would dump those out and things like that.
Okay.
But it was no magic thing or anything like
Yeah. You weren't down in the ground. That's hard. That's really
Yeah.
Man, some seriously good. Can you remember any others, Georgianne? Any
Stories?
good- Yeah.
No, those are the funny ones that they were doing. My grandma and grandpa were going to raise turkeys.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is kind of sad. They were raising turkeys and they got chickens, and so they were going to sell them at Thanksgiving, and either Butterball or whoever was going to buy the turkeys didn't come buy the turkeys, so they lost a lot of money
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
with the
Oh, bummer.
because they invested a lot with that. So that was a big heartbreak for them.
Yeah.
But I was reading with Dad's thing with the turkeys. They had to be watched 24 hours
Yeah.
because if they
You
got
had to have
cold,
somebody
they
out
would
there.
bunch
Well,
up
wait,
and smother
watch.
each other.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you serious? Wow.
So,
So 24/7 you had to watch the
Yeah.
turkeys?
You had, because they'd fight one another or something else would sneak in or something,
Oh.
and you had to have somebody there with them to.
Oh.
to take care of them.
It was really bad.
And then they didn't buy the turkeys?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
So did you just eat turkey for a long time?
I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't know. They said the chickens did well,
Yeah.
but not the turkeys.
Not turkeys.
Oh man, turkeys.
So that was sad for Grandma and Grandpa.
Yeah.
Oh, and this was your father-in-law or your uncle, right?
Yeah.
That's who that happened
He was my dad then, but
Yeah.
to. Yeah, right.
yeah.
Sheesh. Well, Lyman, you've lived a good life. We're lucky that we get to know you.
I've enjoyed it, and I truly think it's because I've tried to stay close to the church.
Yeah.
It's always been the first.
Uh-huh.
So
Boy. Well, we didn't even ask how many kids you have. How many children do you have? You and Marianne. Six beauties? 6 beautiful children. The oldest was a girl, married your best friend's
Yeah.
son.
Then we have, then
And
you
how
had
many girls and
Doug,
boys?
and then there's Scott,
Uh-huh.
and then me, and then Pete, and then Chris.
that's right.
Okay, so there's 4 boys, 2 girls?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, well that's fantastic. Well, thank you. I think that was a beautiful interview.
Oh,
We enjoyed it very much, so thanks.
thank you.
And
It's been a fun life, and I have always felt good about things. As far as
Mhm.
yeah, it could have been a little bitter once in a while. You didn't have to go tip over all the tin cans to see if their nickel would roll out or something like that. But it's been, and after I met Mary Ann, my wife,
Yeah.
that's when the time started going up.
Mhm.
I mean, because you always have somebody to visit with and to
Yeah.
and she passed away. It hurt for a long time,
Yeah.
and Georgiana had to take over, do all the hurting on me, huh?
Yeah, just heard you around. No, we've been very blessed. Very, very blessed.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, thank you again. It was a pleasure to visit with you. So we think the world of you. Thanks for doing this.